Delighted to be joined by Des and Ed to preview the Pettitt Senior Hurling Championship group stages. We're back to the old format of 2 groups of 6 this year, and it's going to be a very hectic schedule, starting on Tuesday night with all 6 games on at 8 o'clock in 6 different venues, followed by the second round then next weekend. So a very hectic schedule. A lot will depend on how teams can get injuries right and get lads recovered in time for the next game. The first group is Group A: Gorey, Clabon, St Anne's, Crossabeg, Glyn and Fight Harriers. So Ed, looking at it as a group of 6, what way do you think it's going to shape up?
Yeah, well, as you said there, Peter, a few injuries will impact greatly. So in my view, I think anyone that has a big panel, and Gorey to me have a very strong panel. I think I could see Gorey coming out of that in top place myself. But 1 or 2 injuries for any other team will definitely weaken them considerably,
And Des, if we look at some of the other teams in the group, Crossabeg, Ballymurn and Clabon, and we have Gorey and we have Fight Harriers and Glenbarntown, what way would you think it'll go?
Yeah, sure, look at it. They're all, across the 12 teams, I think they're evenly matched in the 2 groups. So I don't think the groups, everyone's saying probably the Group B is probably the harder group, but I think looking at Gorey a few weeks ago against Owlert, they were missing maybe 4 or 5 county lads. I think Gorey are probably going to be the strongest along with the Harriers, but as Ed said, injuries is going to play a huge part. You want to be getting a good start, getting a couple of wins, and then maybe you can rest lads in the last game, because I don't think you can play 6 weeks in a row, 7 weeks in a row without picking up injuries, and especially for the likes of the Harriers, Lee Chin injured, is he injured, is he not? So our Harriers going to risk him this week and try and, but look at all the 2 groups are very even, but just Gorey look the strongest in Group A. They have a formidable forward line now. Cottle Dunbar looks to be out for a long time after the injury against Kerry, so it's hard to know where he is, but the only thing with Gorey I see him again Owlert was they're lacking Benny Travers. They're maybe lacking a little bit of height in the back line, and they need Owen and Gary Malloy maybe to play in the backs for him to be a stronghold. And
if we look at Glenbarntown, Ed, they were here last week in Belfield in the league final, and obviously they made the final, which means they're obviously going well. Have they underachieved a little bit in the last couple of years? Yeah,
well, the thing about the league final, Peter, and I'm sure Des will agree with me, I think they were without 3 of their key players, Mark Fanning, John Lacey, and they were without Michael Doyle for the first half. Now, Michael Doyle made a huge difference when he came on in the second half. So I don't think, like any other team, I don't think they can afford to be without their 3 best players. But I would definitely see them getting through the group stages.
And the Fight Harriers have a lot of young talent as well. They've had a lot of lads that have been central players on county minor teams over the last few years, and I suppose it's nearly time for them to start showing a bit now.
Yeah, I'm after seeing Fight Harriers playing 3 games, and they've a lot of young talent, but Chin is going to be a loss if he's out. They can't afford to be without Chin, and he'll definitely impact on him. But Kyle Scallon, Richie Lawler, they're all very Conal Clancy's. One thing I will say about the Harriers, I was very impressed the night after they lost the county or the Leinster under 20 final. The night after, the 4 Fight Harriers players made themselves available in the league against Aldgate. So that just shows you the commitment and dedication that them young lads has, and I think they're to be admired for doing that.
Another team that's, as you'll know yourself, Des, from your playing career, that are very difficult to get over are Clabon, and they were thereabouts in most of their games last year without really making a big impact in the knockout stages, but they'll probably put it up to every team in this group as well.
Yeah, look at Clabon, as you say, Peter, we struggled to beat them in a 16 county final. They have a similar probably team, apart from a few young lads coming on, but Clabon will always, you'll never beat Clabon by 10 points, no matter whether they're going bad or whatever. You'll always have a tough game against Clabon. And look, they have really good hurlers. Well, we're saying they're hard to play again, but like the Squinty Kyo, they've Harry Kyo, they've the 2 Witties inside. They have a good team on paper as well. And as we're saying, I think there's nothing between the 12 teams. We're talking about Fettered in intermediate. They drew with Raps last year. They should have beaten Ferns and they got relegated. Do you know what I mean? So there's a puck of a ball between all the teams. I left out Glenbarntown. I forgot about it, but Glyn are probably with the Gorey and the Harriers they're going to be hard to beat in that group. And as Ed said, they were missing 3 in the league final, and they need everybody, because Glyn probably have a 15 that are all good without having really stand-out performers, so they need everybody.
And so, judging by what we've said so far, we reckon that maybe Gorey and Glyn might be the 2 favourites to get out of the group. Who do you think is likely to join them, Ed?
Yeah, I think the Harriers will get up, but then we're leaving out the Anns, and tell me a day that the Anns don't turn up. Now, I just heard on the grapevine that they're missing 4 of their backs. Liam Shockman, Justin Moran are injured, and 2 lads, Fiona Driscoll and Ben Moore, are away, so they're a big loss to them. But as we know, the Anns will turn up for every championship match and they'll give it everything, and they've 2 of the best hurlers in the country, never mind the county. Like, so I think the Anns will squeeze through when it's all said and done. But you know, Des is right about Clebon will give it everything as well, and I think Aina Doyle is missing for Clebon, and Gavin Murphy, 2 of them are major. I think every club is missing players this year for some reason, you know, through emigration and through injury and everything, you know.
So we know it's early stages. Des, you're 4 to get through then.
Put me on the spot, Peter. Without seeing, I think Ballymurn have a big chance of beating the Anns this week. So I'll put Ballymurn in because Kevin Kennedy is over him, and he'll be giving it. I tipped Feather last year to beat him in the relegation. So I'll just put an outside. I'll put Ballymurn in there, and I'll go with the Harriers, Glynn and Gorey. Now, not sure on the Anns. The 4 lads missing seemingly, and they definitely can't afford to be out four backs. You know, they probably have one of the team that they probably only have maybe 18 to 19 lads who can play senior. So I'm just going to tip Ballymurn maybe to go through.